This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. The rush of racing? Nothing beats it. But Chumba Casino comes close. Chumba's got fast spins, fun games, daily bonuses, and all the action you can handle. Now that's a ride. Ready to hit the throttle? Get in the driver's seat and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You could stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, or you could spice things up and try some unexpected combinations like dipping chicken wonton tacos in their honey Dijon mustard. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. That's eating good in the neighborhood.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
9 to noon. We're coming. We're coming. Thanks for the Brosmer question with PJ Fleck, Mr. Parker Fox. Good morning.
And good morning, PA. Great to see you.
That was sweet. At Parker Fox via X at Parker Fox 24 via the tweet machine.
That's right.
Let's make this Steve's Appliances Marathon segment, stevesappliances.com. If you're looking to save money on appliances, go to the website, stevesappliances.com, and mash on shop deals, and we think you'll like what you see. Now, let's build it from early yesterday through the Minnesota Vikings football game. You good?
Let's do it.
I think I saw you walking on Chicago by U.S. Bank Stadium with Taylor, and she was leading the charge.
Of course.
I mean, she was vigorous with that walk. Parker was kind of lagging along a little bit. That was about 8:50 in the morning. Is it accurate? And if so, what was the cause?
Yeah, that is accurate. And it's very accurate to hear that
with
Taylor,
McCarthy jerseys.
Yes, I had the McCarthy jersey, and Taylor had the Hawkinson jersey on. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see that connection. But nonetheless, we were there early. Taylor had a little endorsement deal to do pregame for a company down there. So we ended up taking the Uber early and then just enjoying the sights and sounds. It's fun to see the kind of tailgate energy that Minnesota brings out for Vikings football. I don't know if that's kind of the same way across the NFL, but it truly does seem like we have some of the best fans in the NFL. KOC highlighted it yesterday, just the sound, the loudness that kind of took place to start that game out. And truly that took place at 9 a.m. with fans filing in and a couple Bengals jerseys here and there, but a lot of purple and gold getting ready to cheer on their Vikes.
How do you like games from the suite? The suite, third level, next to the Vox box, about the 30-yard line. That's where I first met Dawson Garcia.
That's right,
your former teammate. When you guys watched a game a couple of years ago from the suite. How do you like games from the suite?
Oh, it's great. You know what's funny, PA, is I'm such a sitter, right? Like I'd rather be sitting than standing the whole bit. You know, you're kind of back and forth. You're mainly standing as you're calling these games. You get the binoculars, the whole deal. But for me, just standing up behind you and being able to kind of watch you operate in the way that you and Bursich go about your business, the way that Abbott's doing his thing. It's truly a special deal to kind of, get to witness and be a part of. And
the guy to my right, Poopy Dave.
Yeah, and Poopy Dave. There you go. But
he's fantastic.
The best.
Finger right on the 8-7 on the Rodgers.
Ready to roll. But nonetheless, it's pretty sweet. No pun intended. Getting a little bit of food, being able to hang out and see you, being able to bring Taylor. She looks up to you a lot as well. She asked me yesterday, she's like, well, how did PA get his start? So I went down the newspaper deal, the race calling deal. Like we had the whole conversation about it. But just being able to be in there with you guys and watch that big of a victory is pretty special.
That's incredibly kind of you. And did you feel in any way yesterday, speaking of the Vox Box, did you feel I kind of strong-armed you from the front row of the Vox Box to the left of yours truly to give Taylor the prime spot and with the headphones?
Yeah, it was a stiff arm. It was a little bit of a Jordan Mason, put him in the dirt, but I could appreciate it because I know Taylor really wanted to go over there and see you work your magic. Not a lot of people get to see that, right? Not a lot of people get to experience that, and it's one thing that we discussed on the way home is how intentional and how much work goes into what you do, and it was really fun for me to witness briefly, and I was glad to pass the headphones on to Taylor so she could watch you do it too.
Well, when I waved you guys over, I mean, Parker just immediately right down left hand to the announcer. Nick Madden's headphones are all of a sudden on your head, and then I'm like, no. Here's the deal: she'll see it one time. She'll probably be in here one time. Abbott can let you up here anytime, my man. I mean, you work here for free. So push the envelope and join the Vox Box covenant, man. I mean, maybe a game or two or something. Just be part of the Vox Box team. Hey,
I'm in, man. No, it's so fun. It's to see you guys. I think there's 6 or 7 of you, including Moss and Abbott and Jared and Nick and the whole crew, just like working your magic. It's one fluid machine. So Taylor definitely was honored that you called her over there and got to take part of that.
What were some of your favorite moments from the game?
Yeah, I think for me, the one thing I really highlighted was kind of our defensive line pressure. Chase Brown is a running back that I really enjoy watching. And I honestly couldn't believe, I went to his stat line. I couldn't believe what I saw. He had 10 carries for 3 total yards. PA, 3 yards. That's 0.3 yards per carry. His line was 4. That just shows you the intensity that your defensive line came to play with. I don't even know if there's a single guy I can really, pick out. But if I had to, it would be Jalen Redmond. Just his interior push from the start of the game through 4 quarters. Levi Drake Rodriguez, I thought, was great as well. You could go down the line with all those guys, but just the intensity on the defensive line from start to finish was something that clearly set the standard for this game. When Jake Browning's coming in, right, he's a guy that hasn't had much NFL experience. He's a backup. If you can go and pressure him and you can make the run game difficult, everything else is off. So I think that was clearly a key from the start, and we saw that for 4 quarters.
Well, Darisaw is absolutely, it's not homerific here. He's one of the 1, 2, or 3 best left tackles in the NFL.
Totally.
And with the pitch count plan yesterday as part of his recovery plan, the intel for when it was going to take place actually ended up being wrong, where Darisaw was going to play. And then if things heated up a little bit with his leg, he was going to come out of the game. Blake Brandel was going to replace him at left tackle, and then Blake was going to play the rest of the game.
Yep.
Well, they took out Darisaw close to halftime. Brandel comes in, and after the Alabama kid nails that 62-yard bomb, it seems like things settled down a little bit with whatever the recovery plan was. Second half, Darisaw's back out there.
Yeah.
Then he left again. And again, 0 problems with number 71. That was all part of the plan, which I thought was kind of cool because nobody really rotates offensive linemen unless the game becomes an absolute blowout. And even if it was a close game, they were going to handle that recovery plan pretty much the way they did yesterday. And the reason I bring up Darisaw is Kevin O'Connell joins 9 to noon tomorrow at 11 o'clock for X's and O's. And I started looking at, I started watching the game back a little bit and got through the first 4 series of the game, but specifically the Vikings' first offensive series of the game. Cincinnati wins the toss and defers, puts Wentz, Darisaw, Jordan Mason, Michael Juergens, and the gang on the field. And just in the first two plays, Darisaw on the very first offensive play, a Mason run for 10, swallowed Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
And then Trey right there was like, okay. So then on the, I believe it was the second play, Hendrickson with a sweet inside move to split Darisaw and Jackson. But there, with this might have been the third play, there we see the athletic ability of Wentz, where he's able to weave away from him. And if he had just seen things a little bit more quickly, there were touchdown options all over the field. He throws front left of the end zone, overthrows Adam Thielen. But Hendrickson got frustrated at the end of the play and kind of started pushing Christian a little bit. And when I didn't see that yesterday, when I saw it today, I'm like, Christian did his job because he didn't cheat in any way. There were no punches. There was no throwing somebody down after the whistle. It's Darisaw frustrated, by far their best defensive player, and that personifies taking the fight to the adversary, throwing the punches before they can get in their jabs, right?
Yeah, something we didn't really see, the first two games of the season. When you look at this Bengals defense, there's some excitement. Jordan Battle, Knight Jr., Jenkins Jr., there's some guys out there that are really capable of making plays, but you didn't really see them having to make a lot of plays because the Vikings didn't allow them. The offensive line really took kind of hold from the jump, and I love the effort from Christian Darisaw. I talked about it on the power trip a couple weeks ago. Coming off of injury, there's always this little mental thing that you have in your head where it's like, I don't know if I'm healthy enough. I don't know if my knee's going to hold up. But if you go and do it against Trey Hendrickson, who I believe, and I think you would echo this, is one of the best in the game coming off of the edge. He's ultra talented with his hands. His hands are super quick.
35 sacks the last 2 years.
Unbelievable. And to just be able to swallow him up, that's something that Christian Darisaw has got to hang his hat on. And I think it's really encouraging going overseas here the next couple weeks to have a Christian Darisaw that's not only ready to play PA, but he's confident in his ability. I think those two things are completely different deals, and we saw both of those on Sunday.
3 buzzkills from the game. One, Javon Hargrave left with injury.
Yep.
O'Connell said after the game he could have come back in. Mini buzzkill. Secondly, the penalties. I think the Vikings might have had 14, but a lot of penalties yesterday.
13 for 105.
Thank you. And thirdly, virtual measurement.
Oh my gosh!
Well,
Are you kidding me with that?
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes, and
took forever.
Everybody,
and then they challenged it,
including yours truly, looking up at the big beautiful screens in the building because we were led to believe that there was like a video game feel to it, and there's the ball down there, and this little meter comes up, and is it short or does it make it?
Yep.
It could be fun down to the wire, and there was nothing, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well. It's a first down, or it was short, I believe. And but like Nordo said, Zach Taylor challenges the spot, and he wins the challenge, so they get the first down. Whole thing took like 8 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, does that even make sense, Nordo? We go to a virtual replay, they say it's short, and then you challenge it, and then it's a first down. How can we not have these two things kind of add up here?
Well, I don't understand. Well, I guess I kind of understand the purpose of it because the physical time, I guess, that it takes the chain gang to get out there. They're trying to eliminate Gene Steratore and the note card bit and just some of the things that have taken place. But it's not saving time. And as part of this process, by the way, they don't actually improve the spot if it's an awful spot, which, in fairness to the adversary, I'm glad Zach Taylor challenged that because it was a hideous spot.
And the whole thing from the start, I think, had these stripes shaking in their tennis shoes. And here's what I mean. Because one of the officials, not the referee, Ron Torbert, being preseason raised with the virtual replay, my man's down on one knee with his left hand on the football. You're supposed to hold the ball right there.
Yeah.
Somebody came up to him, tapped him on the shoulder, and is like, whomever, there's this indoor. There's no breeze. The ball's not going to blow, or no weather in here.
You got to get away from the cameras or something?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Come on.
Well, no, they need to hold the ball down for outdoor games in case a gust of wind or something blows the ball. But somebody came up, tapped him on the shoulder, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, okay. Got up, and the ball just stood there for 8 minutes.
I don't know if the people who tried to recode a certain fantasy football app are also involved in the virtual measurement. negativity, but it's just hideous all around. The chain gang was fine. The chain gang worked. We understood the chain gang. And just some, kind of, hey, let's flex our technology. We'll make sure it works first. And it's an abject failure all around. And then the challenge, that's again, one of few negatives though. I was peeing in people's cornflakes yesterday a bit because of the penalties. It is crazy, how injuries, and as a player, Parker, you can kind of feel this out where when you got a guy that you're so used to playing with and he's gone.
Yeah.
And kind of how you all work together. And the ragtag offensive line through the first 3 weeks, of the 29 penalties that have been accepted against the Vikings, 16 of them, most in the NFL, are pre-snap penalties.
Yeah.
And so it is a bunch of people through these injuries and the grind that it is. And it was great to see Darrisaw back, but the working through things and finding that chemistry with the in and out turnstile nature of some of these health problems.
Yeah, and I think, some Vikings fans might put a little blame on Kevin O'Connell there, not playing, as much preseason as some of the fans would have liked to see some of the starters play. Who knows if that has a case? You're getting a lot of reps at practice. But nonetheless, to be able to have your leader on the offensive line, I know Brian O'Neill's a captain over there on the right side, but when you talk about talent, when you talk about where the paycheck is going, you have to talk about Big Chris Darrisaw. And to just be able to have him back, and not only have him back, but like you mentioned, Nordo, have him confident enough to play at the level that we all know he can play at. Like, that gives a boost to the guy right next to him, and Donovan Jackson, the rookie. That gives him a boost to be better. That gives the whole line a boost to be better. That gives, people out of the backfield, Adam Thielen out of the backfield, Jordan Mason out of the backfield, just that energy to be better, pick up blocks. And it was just awesome to see kind of the team come together and really make that work yesterday.
Didn't it kind of feel, I'm sure in your playing career, you guys had this, where at the after a game, you just hammered on a team, and you're almost, I don't know who you're playing. Maybe it's Weber State or something, and you drop 100 on those cats, and you win by 40. And at the end of it, it's because part of it is everything kind of came together. You did get healthier. The shots were hot, etc. But part of it was, too, is you had just lost like a nasty, just at the buzzer type of game against like Vatek or something.
Yeah.
And there was just no chance you were going to do anything other than completely undress and embarrass your next opponent. It kind of felt that way after the Falcons game, what we saw into that game yesterday, where, I mean, if they could have had even an extra 10, 20 seconds, they would have found another touchdown at half. Brosmer was going to get maybe a couple of A plays. The coach was hunting to hang half 100, I think, on Zach Taylor's team.
Yeah, I think that's sports, right? And the one thing that I like to reference in that game yesterday, I think there was obviously we talked about how great Isaiah Rodgers were. I'm sure you guys highlighted enough on the show. But specifically with 4:38 left in that second quarter, the Bengals hit a field goal to go make it 17-3. The Vikings respond with a 3-play -6 yards and a punt. So there's about a minute left on the clock, and the Bengals are starting to kind of trot down the field a little bit here. It's 3-17. If they can get a field goal or if they can get a touchdown, they can cut it to a 2-score game. They can get the ball out of the half. They can make a little run. But the Vikings just lock down on defense, and obviously, Isaiah Rodgers gets the fumble recovery, brings it 66 yards to the house. But I think that just talks about the resilience of your group. It's like, things are going well. Don't let them sneak back into it. Like, we saw what happened last week. We felt what happened last week. Let's not feel that again. Let's put the nail in the coffin here before halftime comes around. And huge play, obviously, by Isaiah Rodgers to make that happen.
Well, with the Vikings victory, that provides some good news. Head over to Dublin, then London, then the off week, then the champions. So we have a fair amount of good news we have discussed through the first 2 hours and 18 minutes of 9 to noon.
Oh, yeah.
Take smiles off faces right now, please. Because now I'm going to hearken. We're going to go back in time to preview good news that's around the corner. Everybody ready?
Let's do it.
I got some good news for you. First and goal from the 7, Darnold under center. Aaron Jones, the tailback. Jordan Addison in motion. They're going to hand it to him on a jet sweep. Makes a Packer miss at the 5. Walks into the end zone. Touchdown! The first rushing touchdown of Jordan Addison's career runs the Minnesota Vikings to a 20-0 lead, and the blowout may be on. Big boys back this game against the Steelers in Dublin. Jordan Addison returns this game.
You know what made me as happy as I've seen on social media was Christian Darrisaw's story on Instagram was a picture of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. No caption, nothing needed, just a picture of those two.
That's sweet.
And a lot of people ran with it on Twitter, and what I believe is the best duo in the NFL is back. It's going to be so awesome to have Jordan Addison back. The pressure relief that he brings off of Justin Jefferson, his ability to run routes, his ability to get vertical down the field, get to the sideline. Like, I think there's so many things he does well as a receiver, not only for himself, but what he does for others, what he does for TJ Hawkinson. If you're going to play that zone, that middle of the zone is going to be so open for TJ Hawkinson. So I think there's a lot of really good, not only coming for Jordan Addison, but the guys around him as well.
Minnesota, as in the Vikings, Minnesota wins a lot of games when Van Ginkel and Grenard are together. I mean, just an amazing display of free agency excellence there just continues.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a guy in Van Ginkel. He might have had the loudest applause when they introduced the starting defensive lineup. Obviously, Harrison Smith being back, he got a pretty good hand as well. But a guy that you just love to cheer on because it seems that he always makes the play. PA, like anytime they're running a little swing out right to a running back, he's always there getting a hand on it. Anytime he's got to make a solo tackle, downfield or, in transition, he makes the tackle. So, obviously I thought he was great yesterday, but the linebacker I wanted to highlight was Ivan Pace. 12 tackles, 9 of those solo. I think you saw in stride. You saw in the Atlanta.
On special teams.
And on special teams. He made plays. And you saw in the Atlanta game, PA, he struggled. And I think a lot of the Vikings defense struggled. And you got to give Bijan a little bit of credit for that. He's a top 2-3 running back in the NFL.
Carolina murdered him yesterday.
I know. Yeah, they had it figured out. But Ivan Pace's response to get yourself 9 solos and 12 total tackles, I mean, that gives yourself a lot of credit going into these overseas games here because the linebacking core is depleted a little bit, right? There's no Blake Cashman, so Eric Wilson has to step up. He had 7 tackles, 5 solos of his own. So that linebacking core with Pace and Wilson, 19 tackles, you got to give those guys a lot of credit.
Moving forward, how much confidence as Rubes? We are Rubes. We are fans. You saw what you saw out of Carson. You saw offense back on its feet again. The run game was working. Defense showed out. How confident are you, Mr. Fox, as we head across the pond, we chew on some boiled bacon and fancy ourselves a couple international games? I'm excited. I'm excited to get up early, get the day started with some 8:30 a.m. football. I think that's the correct time. But yes. I love these early NFL games, and for the Vikings to have back-to-back, I think a lot of people are nervous about that kind of travel and that schedule. But I think if you're over there, you're over there. You're going to win the football game, and you're staying over there to win another football game. And we saw a Browns team that upset the Packers yesterday, and a nail-biter finish. But these are 2 beatable football teams, in my opinion. They're both going to bring a lot to the table when you talk about the Steelers and the Browns. But if I'm the Vikings, off of what happened last week and the confidence that we are bringing into that team playing on Thursday and headed overseas, like there's got to be just this confidence that you have to yourself and to your team. And you're going over there to go 2-0, plain and simple.
And lastly, to your alma mater, how in tune are you with Gophers football? They get Callie McManus, the former Gopher, and Rodgers here this weekend.
Yeah, I've obviously been in tuned. I really love this Minnesota defense on both edge positions. Jackson Howard and Anthony Smith, two really talented guys, and then your Mike linebacker Maverick Baranowski is awesome. You have some talent in the secondary with Aiden Gooseby, and you have Coy Parrish. So guys making plays all over the field. I think the offense is going to come along with that. I really do. I'm a believer in Drake Lindsey. His arm talent is obviously evident. He throws the ball at a very high level. Missing Darius Taylor last week was difficult. He's kind of your strong power there. He's your guy that makes the engine run for your offense. And when you don't have him, you have to go elsewhere. And unfortunately, that didn't work at Cal Berkeley. But hopefully Darius is healthy. I know PJ said he's in the right direction. But you got an awesome opportunity to play Callie McManus, who was a Gopher, a guy I knew really well in that little inclusive, what do we call that on this show? The
super special athletes only cafeteria.
Yeah, no doubt. And Ethan's a great guy. Obviously a really good quarterback. So I'm looking forward to Saturday, September 27th at 11 a.m. Gophers versus Scarlet Knights.
My man, great work.
Oh,
good seeing you. Won't see you for a little while. Well, I'm sure I'll chat with you 9 to noon. But
yes.
Thank you for your inclusion today. Awesome spending some time with you and Taylor yesterday. So God bless you guys. Okay,
yeah, we love you, PA.
Love you, bud. Parker Fox at Parker Fox 24 via X. The Frankie, Beverly, and Mays Back in Stride montage was second to none, nor was the master mixer of the morning montages. And we had some drive-bys that we think you'll enjoy. Not all of them, but some of them. If you missed them earlier, you'll hear from Carson Wentz et al. When 9 to noon continues on.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Bailey Zimmerman just announced his biggest tour yet, the 2026 Different Nights Same Rodeo Tour, hitting over 30 cities across the U.S. and Canada. Following his sold-out 2025 run, Bailey is bringing his electrifying live show to even bigger stages in 2026, with stops in major cities like Nashville, Boston, Atlanta, Toronto, and more. His new album, Different Nights Same Rodeo, is out now, featuring the #1 hit Backup Plan with Luke Combs, plus fan favorites like Lost with the Kid Laroi, Holy Smokes, and Holding On. The sophomore album showcases Bailey's signature blend of rock-powered country and heartfelt storytelling, making it a must-listen for fans old and new. Fans can elevate their night with VIP packages that include premium seats, exclusive merch, and access to Bailey's pre-show soundcheck party. With new music, massive energy, and a can't-miss tour on the horizon, now's the time to get your tickets. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com.
Would you guys consider anything less than a championship to be a failure from this year?
I wouldn't say anything is a failure, especially because we all grow every day. Obviously, the goal is a championship. There's no doubt in that, and that's the goal. We want to win a championship.
I'm Christina Williams, host of the podcast, In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams. The WNBA playoffs are here, and I've got the inside scoop on everything from key matchups and standout players to the behind-the-scenes moments you won't find anywhere else.
It's really, really hard to be the champions, but we have to remember how it feels and embrace the new challenge that we have.
For all the biggest stories in women's basketball, plus exclusive interviews with the game's brightest stars.
So to be here, I think it's one that we definitely don't take for granted. But we also know, that's just one stop along the way, and we're hoping to, make a run.
So listen to In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams, an iHeart Women's sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
KFAN.
It's good to be back in stride for your 2-1 Minnesota Vikings, and it was good to be back in stride with some post-game drive-by interviews. The host, PA, down in the locker room after the 48-10 thumping the Vikings put on the Bengals, caught up with myriad players, and we played a longer version of it actually during the opening segment. So it's all going to be podcastable shortly after noon today. So you can catch the full edition of the drive-bys there. But it bared replaying just a few of the conversations that PA had, whether it was, you heard those defensive highlights there, he catches up with Isaiah Rodgers, the Hitman becoming the tip man in terms of Harrison Smith making his return and making it known early and often in yesterday's game, and then the quarterback, the 7th starting quarterback that Kevin O'Connell has put onto the field during his tenure, 3 years and 3 games, 7 QBs, the 7th being Carson. This is where we start off at. And MPA started that part of the conversation with, Carson, it's new and it's different, but in some ways it's kind of like riding a bike, right?
A little bit. Yeah, it was fun to get my feet wet out there. Got a ton of skill guys around me. My job is just to get the ball in their hands today, and they did a great job. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of fun. That was one of the more fun games I've had in a long time.
Well, being in Minnesota as long as I have, I gotta be honest that there were so many people who live in North Dakota who texted me, and they came in from North Dakota excited to watch you play. 2-time FCS champion for the Bison. Bismarck Century was your high school, right?
That's right, correct.
Yeah, so we go back to high school like that. I'm, I hosted a gala, a fundraising gala. I won't say the school, but a school with which you're very familiar in Edina. And I heard, Carson is tied to this school, but he's not here because he has family in town. So you could tell when you walked out on the field, Bismarck go crazy. They just kind of went nuts, right?
Yeah, it was it's a pretty special place. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I grew up cheering for this team, so running out of this tunnel today, even just talking to you right now, PA, this is pretty cool for me. I grew up listening to you, cheering this team on. So it's kind of just reliving my childhood a little bit today. I had a lot of fun.
And lastly, 2 signature foods in Ireland: Irish stew, either with beef or lamb, or something called boiled bacon and cabbage. Now, I would imagine you like bacon. I can't say I've ever had it boiled. Have you?
I have not had boiled bacon.
You're going to give it a try?
I'll try whatever. If we're over there, I'll try it. But, I don't have high expectations, I'll tell you that.
Wonderful, wonderful effort today by you and everybody. May God bless you, and thanks for the time in the drive-by.
Appreciate it, PA. God bless.
Thank you. Carson Wentz, number 11 on the uniform, but number 1 in our hearts today, as the Vikings beat the Cincinnati Bengals 48-10. And let's see where these drive-bys can take us now. There's Jalen Redmond over there. Well, we got, Hitman. Hitman. Let me see if I can get Hitman before the media comes over here real quick. What's going on, everybody? Drive-by time, if you happen to have 30 seconds. Harrison Smith first. Welcome back, Hitman.
I appreciate it, PA.
Tip passes. So Isaiah Rodgers over here to your right. NFL history maker Isaiah Rodgers, by the way. Tip passes aren't the easiest thing in the world to catch, so it's really cool that you tipped it and he picked it off, goes 87 to the house. Kind of a perfect situation today to reintegrate yourself back into the mix and stuff. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I think even if I don't tip that one, like, Zay's going to find his way to make something happen today because he was just doing it the whole – like, he set an NFL record for a game in the first half. Which is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, right. It's we're going to get to Isaiah here in a second if he's still there, but it was first in the history of the game to have 2 defensive touchdowns and 2 forced fumbles in the same game. I mean, first corner in the history of the NFL to do that. So last one here, because we're going to have many more drive-bys with the Hitman back. Over to Ireland, 2 of their signature foods are Irish stew with either beef or lamb, or boiled bacon and cabbage. So A, does the Hitman like bacon? And B, have you ever had boiled bacon?
Big bacon guy here. I don't know if I've had boiled bacon, but boiled bacon and cabbage sounds nice. I know. Is shepherd's pie hot over there?
Shepherd's pie is big all over that part of Europe, but shepherd's pie with that crust and everything, if you eat too many of those, your body fat might go from 3% up to 6%, man. Come on.
I need a little bit. Maybe throw a Guinness in with it.
You're the best. Welcome back.
Thanks for it.
Isaiah, how you doing, bud? The aged announcer after victories does things called drive-bys. So I just drive-by to a bunch of players. First of all, on my elbow, give me a fist bump because I got so many things in my hand right now. It's unbelievable. Congratulations on the victory, first and foremost. But, you know everything that's transpired right now from a record-setting standpoint, including what Harris and I just talked about, first in the history of the game, to have 2 defensive touchdowns and 2 forced fumbles in the same game. You went out there and did it in the first half. So congratulations on NFL history, because I know you're on to Pittsburgh, once you get past Monday and watch this thing back. But nevertheless, just deep breath and think about this for a second, okay? Deion Sanders, Lester Hayes, Darrell Green, Sauce Gardner. Do I need to go on and on and on? They're all corners. Nobody's done that except for you. That's fantastic.
I'm just grateful for the guys around me. Shout out to Harry and, the D-line just forcing, the quarterback to make those type of decisions. And it all goes out to those guys.
Yeah. And it's clear. I talked to Levi Drake Rodriguez and some others about this. I ain't here to break down the Atlanta game or anything, but it was clear with that front 7 and with that offensive line is nobody's going to push around a single Minnesota Viking today because this team was so physical. That played into everything good for you, right?
I think our main thing was just come out and respond. We knew that wasn't Minnesota Vikings football last week, and our main goal this week was respond, and we just want to put on tape that, what we can display, and that's create turnovers and, stop the run and stop the pass. So, pretty good.
Think about that. When people look at hey, who's had 1 defensive touchdown and 2 forced fumbles in a game? Oh, Deion, this guy, that guy, that guy. What about 2 and 2? Isaiah Rodgers. That's fantastic. So when we get to Ireland, last one. Irish stew with lamb or beef, or something called boiled bacon with cabbage, or maybe shepherd's pie with that nice crust. What do you like?
I'm going shepherd's pie. That's my favorite food.
Is it really?
In America, so I know I'm gonna love it out there. So
God bless you, man, and it's great having you on the team. And I've seen a lot of Vikings games over a lot of years. That's about as good as I've seen, man. So God bless you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
That's BA doing some post-game drive-bys. You heard Isaiah Rodgers, Harrison Smith, Carson Wentz in that small, truncated version. Of course, the full was aired during the first segment of the show. So, again, podcastable, free iHeartRadio app. We're going to put a wrap on a Monday, on a Victory Monday, when we return shortly.
Hey, it's Brian Christopher. Ready to chill this summer? You're in luck. I'm hanging out at Chumba Casino, and you're in for a treat. Chillax with hundreds of games, daily bonuses, exciting spins, and epic prizes. It's all here, always free to play. Kick back, have fun, and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's make this summer legendary.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T&Cs. 21+.
Bailey Zimmerman just announced his biggest tour yet, the 2026 Different Night Same Rodeo Tour, hitting over 30 cities across the U.S. and Canada. Following his sold-out 2025 run, Bailey is bringing his electrifying live show to even bigger stages in 2026, with stops in major cities like Nashville, Boston, Atlanta, Toronto, and more. His new album, Different Night Same Rodeo, is out now, featuring the #1 hit, Backup Plan with Luke Combs, plus fan favorites like Lost with the Kid Laroi, Holy Smokes, and Holding On. The sophomore album showcases Bailey's signature blend of rock-powered country and heartfelt storytelling, making it a must-listen for fans old and new. Fans can elevate their night with VIP packages that include premium seats, exclusive merch, and access to Bailey's pre-show soundcheck party. With new music, massive energy, and a can't-miss tour on the horizon, now's the time to get your tickets. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com.
Would you guys consider anything less than a championship to be a failure from this year?
I wouldn't say anything is a failure, especially because we all grow every day. Obviously, the goal is a championship. There's no doubt in that, and that's the goal. We want to win a championship.
I'm Christina Williams, host of the podcast, In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams. The WNBA playoffs are here, and I've got the inside scoop on everything from key matchups and standout players to the behind-the-scenes moments you won't find anywhere else.
It's really, really hard to be the champions, but we have to remember how it feels and embrace the new challenge that we have.
For all the biggest stories in women's basketball, plus exclusive interviews with the game's brightest stars.
So to be here, I think it's one that we definitely don't take for granted. But we also know, that's just one stop along the way, and we're hoping to, make a run.
So listen to In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams, an iHeart Women's sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's 9 to noon on the...
You're listening to The Fan.
I can't wait until tomorrow. 'Cause tomorrow might very well be too late.
We are excited for tomorrow because we are at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. TCOPC, it's our Tuesday stop by the facility where we get the opportunity to chat with Minnesota Vikings head coach and reigning coach of the year, Kevin O'Connell. Elongated conversations as part of something called X's and O's. That's going to take place at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And by that time, all the games will have been played in the National Football League this weekend. We have a doozy tonight. It's the Motor City Kitties at Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. And it'll be interesting to see what the Ravens do off what they just did when running up 52 on their former offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. Because then in the we know that you know, the we know that you know, there's always a next week. So, for instance, the Bears came together a little bit yesterday against a downtrodden Dallas team that lost CeeDee Lamb very, very early in the game. So the Bears get right, which was very big for them.
Do you think Eberflus being over there had just a hair to do with that too? When you think about like Campbell handling Ben Johnson, Johnson's like, welcome back, Eberflus. I'll show you what I've done with the squad.
Right. I'm glad you said that because my mind went to drifting and I couldn't figure out exactly what I was getting to. So 3-2. Campbell brings back the former offensive coordinator comes back to Ford Field. Campbell destroys him.
Yeah.
The former head coach defensive mind comes back to Soldier Field. Bears kind of destroyed them. I mean, Dallas wasn't doing anything in the second half of that football game.
CD mattered too. I think that mattered a lot.
Big time. So now, specifically when you design the majority of your offense around him during the course of a week, and you feel you can take advantage of a situation where the Bears don't blitz a lot. Montez Sweat hadn't had the greatest 2 weeks to start a season in the history of his life. Came together a little bit yesterday with Tremaine Edmonds, who had 2 picks. But when you have the emotional circumstances of we're not going to let this guy come in here and do anything. In fact, we're going to put 52 on him, to we're not going to let the former coach and defensive mind come here and do anything, and then you do it. Well, now Chicago will play next week at Las Vegas. So, it's a real football game where now you have 3 games of film-related equity. So 200 some odd plays, or 100 and high change, something like that, maybe a little less. So you can play off that. But for the Dallas Cowboys, well, now the emotional impact, it'll face them on Sunday Night Football. Micah Parsons coming back to Dallas.
Yeah.
And LaFleur's group, a little banged up right now, it's low key going to be, we can't bring Micah back to this place and lose the football game. Meanwhile, Kenny Clark's like, Elton, my man. Remember those battles we used to have in practice where, it's like, I think you came out of Ole Miss, Mississippi State, one of the two. Yeah, you were unbelievably good until I got my hands on you and then threw you to the side and got around you.
Right.
Because veterans have a tendency to do that to younger players.
And now they're playing for keeps.
So Kenny Clark's like, yeah, we know what happened last week, and we almost lost to the Giants, and the Giants are winless. But we can't let Micah come back in here with these fans in the stands and Kenny on our side and let him win. So now Detroit this evening, it's a real game with two games of game planning film. It's going to be emotional because it's a violent football game. But the Lions off of 52. The Ravens are like, nah. Roquan Smith, nah. Jameer, no. It's not happening. So we'll see if it happens. And then now, after throttling and embarrassing Caleb Williams and this offensive operation led by a $13 million a year new head coach with an elite offensive mind, well, now Lamar's like, okay, we saw what your defense did against them last week, but we ain't them.
Right.
So this thing tonight might be nice.
It's going to be sweet with the new coaches learning. We saw the disparity of home versus road, so we've gotten to see that a bit from the Lions through too, right? The emotional aspect of it. And now you just have to go best a Ravens team that I know they're 1-1. They went right down to the wire and put it on the Bills, and it was a little magical in Orchard Park opening weekend. But, man, the Ravens find so many different ways to win games. They only had 240 yards of offense against the Browns last week. That Browns defense is insane.
Right.
It is that good. But they found their way through taking it away from Flacco and then Lamar through the air when Derrick Henry couldn't work. I think Henry's back tonight in a big way. I'm super pumped.
Sounds like Prize Picks.
It sounds like Prize Picks. It sounds like the Ravens are going to be 2-1 and the Vikings tied atop the North with the Green Bay Packers.
Right. And now the Packers' response off losing to Cleveland as a road favorite, Sunday Night Football against Dallas. And they're banged up. Micah comes back, and Dallas recognizes 1-3 is bad for business. The NFL has a quirky side to it, but really not much more than some of the things that transpired with this weekend of games that we just witnessed. Thank you very much for listening to 9 to Noon. Norder produces, and I'm Paul Allen. The program is Around the Corner on FM 100.3 KFAN. Kevin O'Connell joins 9 to Noon tomorrow at 11 a.m. Make that appointment listening via your audio leader. God bless and goodbye.
We lucky we got 'em.
9 to Noon.
If it's good news or money, leave a message.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Every day has a to-do list, but adding Enjoy Belvita to yours can help you knock out the rest of it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are a tasty and convenient breakfast option when paired with low-fat yogurt and fruit that provides steady energy all morning. While Belvita Energy Snack Bites give you the perfect mid-morning refuel. Best part, they both taste great. So make the most out of your morning with a bite of Velveeta. Pick up a pack of Velveeta at your local store today.
The day begins at the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club at Boston Logan Airport. You get the clam chowder. In San Diego, it's tostadas. New York, espresso martini. It's 10 a.m. Why not? It's the quiet before your next flight, the shower that resets your day, the menu that lets you know where you are. This is access to over 1,300 airport lounges and every Sapphire Lounge by the club. And one card that gets you in. Chase Sapphire Reserve, the most rewarding card.
Learn more at chase.com/Sapphire Reserve. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval.
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards, so you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.